8 nations, 1 baton. Every single one of them believes tonight is theirs. Great Britain goes to the line with Rebecca Grieve, Emily Newnham, Malik, and Yemi Mary John, 4 runners who have looked untouchable all season long. But Germany's Lena Liege and Anouk Krause-Jensch did not come here to finish second. France is loaded. Spain's Rocio Arroyo is the most dangerous closer in Europe right now. Poland, Norway, Switzerland, Italy, stacked from lane 1 to lane 8. 4 legs, 3 exchanges, and the Clarissa Vianelli leads off for Italy in lane 8, opening it up for a squad chasing their first European under-23 relay medal. Rebecca Grieve takes the first leg for Great Britain and Northern Ireland in lane 7, leading a very strong quartet. Laure-Anne Falim fires the opening leg for France in lane 6, the reigning champions, with Alexe Deau closing on the anchor. Lena Liege gets Germany going in lane 5. Their squad includes Vivienne Morgenstern, who placed 3rd in the 400-meter hurdles final. Natalia Rojas leads off for Spain in lane 4, a team that has quietly built one of Europe's sharper relay lineups. Kaya Simasauchi opens for Switzerland in lane 3, with Audrey Wero, bronze medalist in the 800 meters, set to run the anchor leg. Klaudia Osipiuk gets Poland moving from lane 2. This squad has been active across multiple relay events throughout these championships. Laura Teche Johanna van der Veen takes the opening leg for Norway in lane 1, a late change to the running order, stepping up for what should be a fiercely competitive 4 laps. And they're off. Rebecca Grieve explodes off the line for Great Britain and Northern Ireland, moving with real purpose down the back straight. Vianelli right there on the outside for Italy. Poland and France in contention, but Grieve has already opened a gap and she is absolutely flying. First exchange in. Great Britain's handoff to Emily Newnham is smooth and sharp. Germany's Morgenstern takes the baton in a solid position. Norway's Jaeger lurking, looking to close the gap. But Newnham is cool, calm, completely in control, striding out and building that lead with every step. Second exchange done. Malik takes the baton for Great Britain with the lead already in hand. Germany and Spain scrapping hard behind her. Malik storms down the back straight, composed and powerful, delivering one of the best performances of her young senior career this season. Great Britain hand over first to Yemi Mary John, and the gap is already massive. Alexe Deau takes the baton for France. Spain's Rocio Arroyo comes roaring around the outside. She ran second in the 800 meters, and she is hunting down the field with everything she has. But John is flying. She is absolutely in a different gear right now. Arroyo is giving chase, Deau is pressing for the bronze position, and the rest of the field is trying to stay in contact. John hits the back straight with her head down and her form locked in. This anchor leg is going to be one to remember. Great Britain in full control, but every position behind them is still up for grabs with meters still to run. Yemi Mary John driving hard into the home straight, and this race is over. Spain's Arroyo pressing from behind, France coming hard for the bronze, but Great Britain and Northern Ireland are not slowing down one bit. The crowd is on its feet. John dips on the line. Gold, a new championship record for Great Britain and Northern Ireland. 3 minutes, 26.52. Yemi Mary John throws her arms wide, and this crowd goes absolutely crazy. Great Britain have done it, and it wasn't even close. The whole British squad floods the track. Malik, Newnham, Grieve, all in tears, and every single bit of it is deserved. France claimed the bronze, Alexe Deau closing hard on that anchor leg. Spain takes silver, Arroyo giving everything she had. Both nations clock new national under 23 records. What a race from top to bottom. 3:26.52 on the board. A championship record for Great Britain and Northern Ireland. They led every single leg, gun to tape. Grieve set the tone, Newnham built the lead with total composure. Malik came off a 5th place finish in the individual 400 meters and delivered one of the performances of these championships, and Yemi Mary John closed it out as anchor. This was never close. Gold by a margin that left the entire field chasing shadows. And look at this, Yemi Mary John and Henriette Jaeger of Norway sharing a warm embrace right here on the track after a fierce competition all week. That's the spirit of this sport. Two rivals, one moment, total class from both of them. Watch this again. Rebecca Grieve in lane 7, off the line with a ferocious first stride. Her drive phase is low and aggressive. She hits top speed through the back straight before anyone else in this field. She comes off the stagger with a visible gap already, controlled power all the way through the bend, and the baton goes right into Emily Newnham's hand. That exchange is textbook. Clean, quick, zero hesitation. Newnham picks it up at full speed, and her running style is long, smooth, efficient on the bend. She pushes wide on the back straight and runs everyone into the ground. France and Germany are trying to hold contact, but that gap keeps opening up. Now here's Malik. Watch how she takes the baton. She doesn't flinch, doesn't check, just goes straight into her race. Head still, arms moving with real rhythm all the way down the back straight. She ran the individual 400-meter final before this relay, and her legs show none of it. That is serious toughness for a young athlete stepping up to senior level. And then Yemi Mary John. Great Britain handover first, and John is gone immediately. Powerful drive off the exchange zone, her turnover is fast, and she keeps pressing even with the race already won. Into the home straight, she finds another gear and dips hard through the line. A championship record, and every single one of those 4 women earned it. Two years ago, France won this event by 0.02 of a second. Tonight, Great Britain and Northern Ireland answered with a championship record and a wire-to-wire performance that was never in doubt. 4 athletes, 4 legs, and every single one of them delivered exactly when it mattered most. That is a gold medal team. Great Britain didn't win this relay at the finish line. They won it on the first exchange. Rebecca Grieve came off that first leg with a gap that the rest of the field simply never closed. And from that point, the race had one real question left. How fast would the clock stop? 3:26.52, a championship record. And the manner of it matters as much as the time. This wasn't a last leg steal or a fortunate collapse by a rival. Great Britain led every single leg, wire to tape, against a field that included the reigning champions in France and a Spanish anchor in Rocio Arroyo, who had just run second in the 800 meters. Winning like that, with that kind of margin, at this level of competition, tells you something about how deep this British squad runs right now. The technical picture is straightforward. Grieve ran the first leg with controlled aggression, building early rather than sprinting and tying up. Emily Newnham on the second leg is a 400-meter hurdler by trade, and that background shows in her curve mechanics. She carries her speed around the bend efficiently, doesn't fight the track. The gap grew on her leg. which is the clearest sign that Britain's depth wasn't just in the anchor. Poppy Malik on the third leg had run the individual 400-meter final before this relay, and she still looked composed and powerful down the back straight. That kind of physical reserve at a championships across multiple events is hard to manufacture. Then Yemi Mary John, second in the individual 400 meters and the defending champion from 2 years prior, closed it out. When your fourth best performance of the meet is a championship record anchor leg, your squad selection was correct. France came in as reigning champions and had Alexe Deau closing on the anchor, a runner who'd placed fourth in the individual 400 meters. They earned bronze. Spain's Arroyo pressed hard in the final straight and took silver, running aggressively around the outside. Neither team ran a bad relay. They just ran it against a British lineup that had more depth at every single leg, and that kind of structural advantage doesn't get overturned by one exceptional individual split. 2 years ago, France won this event by 0.02 of a second. That's the context. British athletics spent that gap and then some, and the result here was never in genuine doubt past the first 200 meters. The championship record belongs to the whole four-woman unit, but it also signals something about where British women's 400-meter running sits right now. 3 of these 4 ran individual finals at these championships. That's not a relay team assembled to peak in the relay. It's a relay team assembled because they happen to have 4 of the best quarter-milers in Europe, and the relay is the natural conclusion of that individual quality. What comes next matters. Yemi Mary John's arc is the one to watch. Bronze at the Olympic Games in the relay, gold here. Poppy Malik's ability to run both the individual and the relay at this standard as a young senior athlete points to a long career at this level. This British group isn't peaking, it's arriving.